needs to go somewhere. Is that weird? I don't know about you, but March 2020 really took me by a surprise. And July 2020 took me by an even bigger surprise. So if you are watching this sometime in the future and you're like, what the heck is Becca talking about? I'm talking about the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. In March, we went on spring break and then we never went back. Originally, my school was supposed to close down for like 2 weeks, and then it went to the end of the month, and then it went to the end of the year, and then it went to the beginning of next year. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, the whole time we were in distance learning, I was like, okay, we can get through this and next year's gonna be fine. It'll be normal. Crazy. Anyway, so as we go back to the 2020 school year, I've had a lot of people say things like, hey Becca, what do you think's going on in education? Hey Becca, what do you think teachers need this fall? And I'm like, I don't even know what day I go back to school, which is probably like next week, but no one will tell me. So this is where we are, and this is where a lot of other people are as well. So as teachers go back to school and TPT authors are trying to figure out what the heck to do to help them out, I wanted to give you a couple of ideas of what to look at. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of a lot, but there's 3 different categories of things that teachers are gonna need this year, and if you can kind of pick like 1 or 2 or 3, that would be great. So I got this list based on what my superintendent is proposing to our board, which they are actually meeting on this week, which will be before this video comes out. So I will hopefully know something at some point, and then also talking to other teachers in other districts and even other countries, and just kind of trying to figure out from everybody what they think is gonna happen. And unfortunately, it's still like, I don't know, even though again, teachers are supposed to go back in my district in like a week. Woohoo! Anyway, so number 1, teachers are still gonna need digital. My superintendent proposed to our board, which I don't know if it's happening yet, but we shall see, that we actually go back and start the year digitally. I'm not happy about that. However, I think that it is the correct call. So hopefully the school board votes to pass that, because I just don't see a scenario where we could go back to school and like all of us not get sick. So first off is we need digital activities that are fun and that are easy to use. I suggest having a variety of digital activities because I've found that some teachers are more comfortable with some things than others. So for example, I started making boom cards, which yes, I will have a tutorial on soon. However, I am laptopless, which is why I'm filming this on my phone. So I can't do that right now because I can't share my screen. Anyway, so that'll be coming. And then I also use the same templates for my boom cards as Google Slides activities. Why did I do this? Because I made these boom cards and then I realized there's a bunch of teachers who have no idea what boom cards are, and the thought of learning something new stresses them out. So if I use those same things in Google Slides, a lot of people are more familiar with Google Slides, and so they would buy those. But people would still buy the boom cards because people who have boom cards like boom cards and want more of them. So if you can kind of differentiate your activities and what you have available, that'll be really helpful. I have some videos up in my store that did pretty well. I also have some videos that didn't do pretty well, so definitely do your research before you bother doing videos because they may or may not work. But different things like that. So you can do videos, you can do boom cards, you can do Google Slides or Google Forms. You could do Kahoots. I hear people sell those. I'm not 100% sure how you do that yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. And you can do even more things, including TPT is now starting to roll out their digital layers. So what happens is any of your PDFs can be turned into digital activities, and you just have to opt in. In my store, it was just like up at the banner on my dashboard, it was like opt in to do digital activities, and I was like, heck yes. And so basically you can go to your PDFs and you can add text boxes and you can add different instructions and you can change things, and the teachers can also do that. So they purchase it, they get the PDF, but then they can also add a digital layer. They can take away things that you put if they didn't like them, they can add more stuff, they can do whatever they want, and then they can send that to their kiddos through Google Classroom, which is like super, super, super cool. So definitely opt into that, because even if you don't want to go through and like make all the activities, the teachers can add their own digital layer, even if you don't. So super, super, super cool. Number 2, I've heard a lot of people who needed packets last year because, as we know, not everybody has access to technology. Districts are working really hard on that. Like my district actually did a really good job. We distributed our devices to almost every student who didn't have them. We like made it available to everyone except the little. So like 1st and 2nd grade didn't get access to that, but 3rd grade and up, everyone got a device if they said they wanted them. Now some families were like, no, we don't want the responsibility of having to take care of your devices, but a lot of people did, and it was really, really helpful. However, even though they now had devices, a lot of kids didn't have internet, or they had to use like their phone as a hotspot for their little things like that, because at the beginning, you know, like McDonald's was closed and everything, so you couldn't even like go somewhere to use someone else's internet. No libraries, no McDonald's, no Starbucks, no nothing. So a lot of people were sending home packets with their kiddos. So packets can be really helpful, even if you just have like printable sub plans. Those can be great, even if you don't change anything to them. Just like let your people know, hey, I have these printable sub plans that could totally be sent home with your kids who don't have access to technology. With these, I would suggest making sure that they are fun, but also that you don't need a lot of stuff, because I don't know about you, but my kids usually don't even have pencils at school, so they definitely don't have pencils at home. So if you want them to use like scissors and glue and all those things, they might not have it. So try to stick with just like paper and pencil things, but make them as fun as you can. I know that's a really tall order, but that is 2020. Oh, gracious. And number 3, teachers need help for ideas for making their class fun from 6 feet away. I am currently working really hard on this because a lot of music teachers are telling me they are going back to class, but they won't be able to do any of their normal things because we can't touch each other, and a lot of people like can't use instruments. And so if you're a music teacher, look out, because I'll have some stuff coming on that very soon. But basically they just need ideas for ways to engage their class from far away without touching anything. Again, that's a very tall order, and I understand that it's difficult. However, that is where we are. So think like, what could teachers project on the screen that kids could do from their seats? Or what are things like Kahoots that they can do in class that could be more fun? And just try to think of ways that you could adapt things that already do well in your store to 6 feet away. I'm still working on that as well, so if you're like, oh my gosh, that's so stressful, I understand. What I want you to do now is, out of those 3 different things, maybe pick 1 or 2 to work on, and then also think of ways that you could take your existing products and kind of modify them for 6 feet away, or for digital, or for packets, or things like that. Just how can you like rebrand something, or any of those kind of things. If you have any ideas, or if you know what your school is doing, let us know down in the comments, because I'm boiling with curiosity and also stress about next year. So I would love to hear what you've got going on, whether that's in class or product wise or any of that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, because my analytics say that 85% of you are not subscribed, which I find super weird, because if you're here, it's because you want TPT tips, so hit the button. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful week.